You! Yeah! Yes, you! I'm even talking to you. Listen to this into the background. Pay attention! This is going to be very important. So, I have my banana milk, and it is currently 10 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. You know what that means? This video is going to contain spoilers for movie review. If you don't want this movie to be spoiled, then click out right now. If you don't care, well, let's get started. Good morning, Internet. My name is Matt, and yes, I just woke up once again. It is Friday. You know what that means. It's time for movie review. Whew! Guys, last week's movie review was so positive. Like, the view count, obviously I don't have a lot of subscribers. I just hit like 15 or something like that. This week's, movie review is due to the response from last week's. Last week, we hit double-digit views. That's a big deal for me, because a lot of videos don't get double digits. When they do, something's right. So, we're going to do this week's video. Now, as I said, last week, I'll leave a link down below in the description. It'll be the very first link for last week's movie review. I reviewed 4 movies, the first 4 movies we've ever done in class. So, last week's was a real doozy. Involved time and all that crap. Well, we're going to continue that pace. Because this week's movie is Donnie Darko. Now, for some of those who, like me, never heard of Donnie Darko, I'll give you a quick synopsis of it, and then we'll get balls deep into this video. Basically, my professor said it's basically about time travel, in a sense, and it's about parallel universes. Now, I love this stuff. I'm gonna nerd warning. I'm gonna flash that on the screen like 20 times. Nerd warning. You know what? I'm gonna get so nerdy. Putting on my nerd glasses, guys. That's right. We're gonna get down into the science of why I love this movie so much. Before we even get into this, so this movie is basically about time travel in parallel universes. I am a huge nerd when it comes to this, and I am actually a huge believer of like a multiverse. Like, we are one universe in a pod of several universes, and I believe shit happens that you just can't explain. Okay. So, in order to understand why I believe in this, let me give you the quick, brief intro. So, here we have Donnie Darko. He's just, a kid. He's probably in high school, who is apparently, or is discovered later on, he has PTSD for some odd reason. Why? Nobody knows. He keeps being followed by this guy named Frank, who, quite frankly, looks like a rejected Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic. It looks like Bonnie's lesser cousin. But, regardless of the fact, he keeps getting haunted by this rabbit, who, later on, when he takes off his hooded mask, he has like a bleeding eyeball. And it's explained throughout from this book that Donnie finds, called The Philosophy of Time Travel, that it's actually connected to what he has. I actually pulled it up earlier. So, I'll give you kind of a quick, brief intro of it. So, that's not what I wanted. Where is it? I probably have to go back. It's fascinating. And I love it. I don't want you either. There we go. Okay. So, I'll just read the intro first. And then, going forward, I'll read you the first chapter. Because each part of the movie is based off of chapters. And then I'll go off of why I love this damn movie so much. Okay. The Philosophy of Time Travel is a fictional book written by character Roberta Sparrow, or more commonly referred as Grandma Death, because she looks like she's like 135 years old. Dr. Kenneth Kenneth Mazeltoff gives the book to Donnie during one of their conversations about time travel. Since Roberta Sparrow is a fictional character in the movie Donnie Darko, it is not clear who has written this book, but it was most likely the director, Richard Kelly, or his staff. When it was included in the official DVD to help viewers understand the plot of the movie, to help explain many of the occurrences or events. So, there was actually two versions of the movie. There was the normal version, the DVD, and the director's cut. We watched the director's cut because it had more information and it made some more sense. I don't know if it's referencing this right here in the intro before even talking about the chapters. Okay. The book has chapters missing from it, most likely on purpose to give more of an authentic feel, since if such a book existed, it would probably contain large amounts of extraneous information, which is not needed to understand the plot. Below is a copy of the Philosophy of Time Travel, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's just the intro, just kind of understand this book. So here we go. So where's chapter? Right. So chapter 1 is called the Tangent Universe. Primary universe is just technically what we're in. Is fraught with great peril, war, plague, famine, and natural disasters are common. Death comes to us all. The fourth dimension of time, which is actually a thing, one dimension is just a point. 2 dimensions is 2 points, which is like a sheet of paper. Oh, technically a piece of paper is 3-dimensional. It's just down to the nanoscale for thickness. But a drawing, say a drawing. So you draw a dot. A dot is 1 dimension. You draw a line. Draw a line, draw a stick figure, draw a triangle. That's 2 dimensions. You make a cube, you make a prism. You give it depth. Give a figure depth. That's a 3rd dimension. A 4th dimension would be time. Or space. Space-time. The space-time thing. Because it's like argued, oh, it's space. No, it's time. Well, it's the space-time thing. It's usually lumped together. And time kind of takes up space, and space kind of takes up some time. You spend time in a space. Think of it that way. So, just gonna throw that in. So the 4th dimension of time is a stable construct, though it's not impenetrable. Incidents where the fabric of the 4th dimension becomes corrupted are incredibly rare, like wormholes, rifts. If the tangent universe occurs, it will be highly unstable, sustaining itself for no longer than several weeks. In the movie, it's actually, a little side quote right here. Donnie sees Frank. Frank basically saves this dude's life. Donnie wakes up, he goes for a walk, he sees Frank, and he says, oh, the Earth's gonna come to an end. What happens that night is there's a jet engine that falls through his roof. Through the roof, in his room. So, think of it as... Okay. Man. Because now we're getting into nerdy stuff, and I don't want to keep jumping back and forth. So, basically, I'll read what it says real quick. Let me finish the chapter, and I'll explain everything. So, on October 2nd, which is what the plot kind of begins, at the beginning of the movie, at midnight, the tangent universe occurs when a jet engine falls through the sky. So, kind of like a wormhole, which is revealed later. So, Frank says to Donnie that the world's going to end in exactly 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. Eventually, it will collapse upon itself, forming a black hole within the primary universe capable of destroying all existence. Well, it's unsure if it means the tangent universe will physically destroy the primary universe, or if the universe will get sucked into a time loop. So, referring to the time loop, I'm referring to paradoxes. Oh, I love time-based events. So what ends up happening at the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie. So Frank basically saves Donnie. Frank's like, get up, meet me outside. So Donnie gets up, he walks outside. And Frank's like, oh yeah, 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. You know, the Earth's gonna come to an end. He's like, yeah, right. The jet engine falls through the roof into Donnie's bedroom. And at the end of the movie, there's, you know, he's basically resetting the timeline back to the very beginning in a loop. And Donnie stays in the room because he basically has later on in the chapters, he has a recollection. Jet engine falls through the roof. But that jet engine has the same serial number as a jet engine that never flown. The jet engine didn't come from anything. They never found a wreck of it. What ended up happening is, during the final scenes, there's a jet engine plane that's flying overhead. It hits a turbulence like a storm. It loses its engine, falls through a wormhole, and travels back in time and kills Donnie, which is so fascinating. That basically... Oh, I love stuff like this. I love paradoxes. I love time-based events. Okay, so... tangent universes and primary universes. Let's get nerdy. Okay. I'm firmly a vast believer in a multiverse. What is a multiverse, I hear you guys asking? Well, ironically, I have to refer to Dragon Ball Super. So, throughout the entire Dragon Ball franchise, it was only referred as there's one universe. And the king of the questionable genders, Frieza, was technically the emperor of the universe. I mean, he was kind of cold, but you know, whatever. So, when it was revealed, you know, Beerus being the god of destruction for that universe, and then later when Champa shows up, Beerus' brother, he's like, oh yeah, I'm the god of destruction of Universe 6. And they're like, wait, there's 2 universes? And Whis is like, oh no, there's 12. There's 12 universes. And they're like, what? I love that. I love the scene. And Vegeta's like, are you kidding me? And then, of course, that's when Goku's like, oh, yo, let's fight him. Technically, there was 18. Lord Zeno just kind of got bored and destroyed 6 of them. It happens. Omni Kings. You know? So. And personally, I do believe in that. Because you could walk into a parallel universe. Not, you know, it's different from like an entire different universe. You know, wormholes and all that shit. I'm not in a vast, you know, I believe in a multiverse as in, you know, okay, you have a universe, but in another universe, everything's completely shit-ass crazy and different. No. I believe in a universe where everything's still the same, but a little minute thing's different. Think of it this way. There could be a universe out there, somewhere, where you are actually the star of Batman, where you are actually Batman. You could be Batman. You could be, you know, the hero in Final Fantasy 30. I don't know how many Final Fantasy things there are, actually. I'm sorry. And you could be the main hero in Final Fantasy. You could be fucking Goku. You could be Superman. You could be, you know, Robert De Niro. I love shit like that. Anything can happen. Now, aside from breaking your brains about, you know, being Batman, time is fluid. You know, you can go forward easily. It's difficult to go back. And traveling through a space-time continuum isn't really the easiest thing in the world. I mean, light speed can go, you know, space and time. I had to kind of bridge the gap here. Traveling through space technically isn't impossible. I mean, you just need to warp the space around you. You know, traveling, say you wanted to travel from here to Pluto, which is going to take years. It's going to take years to get there. If you just want to build a little jump gate so you can get there to point A to point B in about a minute, you gotta warp space around you. You gotta warp the matter around you. You gotta constrict the space in front of you and expel it behind you, because, you know, you can't give and not take. Think of it this way. So you're traveling linear. You know, perfectly fine. Perfectly linear. You know, I have to hold it up so I can actually see the camera and see what the fuck I'm doing. You know, perfectly linear. in order for you to travel through space, this has to be, like, tighter, but this has to be, like, less. You know, the ship's, like, right in the middle. You're traveling forward. This is my forward. Everything's reversed in my camera. Just imagine this is the front. This is the front. You know, everything here is, like, tighter to you, because you're trying to move forward faster, but everything has to be longer this way. You can't have a give without a take. That's basically how everything goes, including the economy. You know, you can't get something without giving something. You know? There you go. That's a perfect example. So, what about time? Well, there are natural occurrences, very rare, where a wormhole can open up. Hence, where the jet engine came from. There's, also events, too, where people remember something, but it never happened. It's deja vu. That's actually also later mentioned in the philosophy of time. When the journey ends from their tangent universe, the people who died in that tangent universe are still alive. They wake up, but they kind of have like that deja vu moment. You know, when Donnie dies, you know, people wake up and people have like a faint recollection of what happened, and some people start crying. The guy who played Frank, because, you know, he's an actual person later on, it's discovered, you know, he's a guy in a bodysuit. You know, he got shot in the eye. Hence, this explains why his eye was bleeding. But he touches his eye, like, oh shit, I got shot in the eye. But people had that faint recollection of Donnie. It's so fucking cool. It's like that deja vu moment. That, now, as I'm referring to the Mandela effect. Oh, I gotta double up on my nerd glasses here, guys. Whew! Here we go. I didn't know this was going to turn. I wanted to make a video about this for so long, but it's also a movie review, so please bear with me. So, the Mandela effect is obviously a scientific theory based off a guy named Nelson Mandela. I mean, he's pretty cool. So, what ended up happening is people remember him dying in a prison. And everyone was so sure he was dead. You know, people were kind of upset because he was such an activist. You know, he wanted, you know, peace. But then 2 years later, he actually passed away. And people were like, wait, whoa. He died. I remember seeing the news footage. I remember reading the newspapers. There's physical evidence of something happening, but it never happened. That's kind of a parallel to a different universe. So did people just kind of travel subconsciously to another universe? I can't tell you. I'm not that great of, you know, nerd. But that's evidence. Another evidence, kind of more for the older viewers out there, who's an adult, you know, old, like a parent. Let me say that, like a parent, you know, older than me. There's proof of an event from, I don't know if it's Iwo Jima or Vietnam. It's some war. I know it's a war, and you know, in the Western world, called Tank Boy. So during like a parade, there was a parade of tanks, and this one guy steps out in front of the tanks and presents like flowers. What people remember is that guy got ran over. You know, tanks didn't stop. They ran him over, and people remember seeing that on the news that he got ran over. They saw the bloodstains on the ground, people trying to remove it. Remember the screams of terror. What actually happened, though, is the tank stopped, and the guy went boop, and put the flowers in the barrel of the cannon. You know, around the 80s. Peace, man. But it's so... Okay. I love shit like this. Another... Probably, for those viewers like me, my age, that remember this, is the Bearstein Bears. Oh, boy. That... I'm kind of saying ambiguously, so Bearstein. You know, Bearstein Bears. People... So, think about it right now. You know, don't look it up. It's not going to help you. I tried. Think about how you would spell Bearstein Bears. Alright, think about it right now. You know, take a second. Take a few seconds. You know, I don't care. I'll wait. You know. How about them hockeys, huh? Pretty cool? Yeah? Cool. Okay. Got how you'd spell it? Yeah? Okay. I would spell it Berestein. Bearstein Bears. How it's actually spelled is Berestain, Berstain Bears. I never remembered it as, AIN. I'm a victim of the Mandela effect, so whatever. There's actual physical proof out there somewhere in this world of EIN, Berenstein Bears. So we don't know if they changed it over or what happened, but that's a common example of the Mandela effect. And it's so fucking cool. There's others out there. There's like tons of examples out there of the Mandela effect. What I want to talk about now is the big guns, the big stuff with a parallel universe. Now, this is going to be a longer movie review, obviously, because I'm going to kind of pluck stuff from sciencey crap and theories. So this is going to be a longer video about me ranting. So another good example of a parallel universe would be an incident that happened, a while ago. It's kind of... It's weird because people actually remember, based off the Mandela effect, there's a country, not New Zealand, but an actual country next to Australia. Like some random country. And this kind of branches off into the story. So, there's this one guy who came into Japan with passports, money. He had all the legal documents from a country that never existed. So, I think it was like Taurine, something like that. It was a weird bull named country. I'll call it Tauros. So, this guy comes from Tauros, and everyone's like, and the guys are like, this is fake. Are you trying to, play us as a fool? This doesn't exist. And he's like, oh, no, this is real. Here, let me show you my documents. Shows him a passport. Shows him his driver's license. It has the name of it on it. And the guys are like, okay, this is legit. He actually has, stuff from the country. It doesn't exist. Let's bring him in. So he's like ranting and raving, like, oh, come on, this is real. I have the proof. And they're like, all right, okay, all right. As, TSA agents would do. It's like, okay, calm down. We're figure this out. So they eventually bring him into, the holding room, and they lay out a map. It's like, all right, point to us where this country is. Because maybe we're not communicating right. Different languages. So the guy, goes to the point where the country is, and they're like, there's nothing there. And he looks, and there is actually nothing there. So he's like, I don't understand. This is where my country is. Where's my country? And they felt bad, so they made him stay overnight. Just, maybe they can figure it out more. Maybe they can tell him more information. The next day, he was gone. Perfectly erased from existence. So, that right there is a perfect example of my belief in the multiverse. That there's a country out there. There's a Tauros country out there. And that poor guy returned home. Alright, back to the movie. So, obviously it's based off of time and this philosophy of time travel. Frank keeps telling him, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that, all this stuff. So, let's move on into the next chapter of the philosophy of time. And this is the next scene in the movie. Each scene is based off of these chapters. Chapter 2, Water and Metal. Water and metal are the key elements to time travel. Water is the barrier element for the construction of time portals, which is the gateway to universes and a tangent vortex. That's what I was saying before. Time is like water. It's like a river. You can flow forward in it easily. You're doing that right now. Going backwards, getting the time back is near to impossible. Without, the right energy. So, this is also seen in one of the, shots in the movie where Donnie's in the bathroom and he's talking to Frank. He's trying to, make contact with him, but there's like a force field made of water. And it's so it's so cool. He's like, it looks like a force field. I thought it was a force field during the selection of play movie scene selection. I thought it was a force field. I seriously thought the movie was a science experiment. Based off of there's an eye in the corner, like him, like the close up of the eye. The iris opening up. Donnie with the force field, this weird rabbit dude. I never understood that. I thought it was an alien. Shame on me. And then metal is a transitional element for the construct of the artificial vessel, which is the jet engine. The jet engine is made of metal. Okay, next chapter. The artifact and the living. So when a tangent universe occurs, those living nearest the vortex find themselves with the epicenter of the dangerous new world, Donnie's bedroom. Artifacts provide the first sign of a tangent universe has occurred. Again, the jet engine. If an artifact occurs, the living will retrieve it with great interest and curiosity. So the people, once in the next morning after the jet engine falls through the room, everybody's interested in the jet engine, where it came from. Since it had a matching serial number, as I mentioned before, as a jet engine that never has flown yet. So it's basically a plane that never existed. They couldn't find a wreck because, again, the plane never existed. Artifacts are formed from metals such as an arrowhead, an ancient Mayan civilization, or a metal sword from medieval Europe. Artifacts of interest. I have an arrowhead. So, actually, where is my arrowhead? Wait, where is my arrowhead? Is this it? I think this is it. That is not an arrowhead. Oh, crap. Where is that? Actually, where's my arrowhead? There it is. Alrighty. Mine's not made of metal. But... see? It's kind of cool. It's obsidian. But... I got this actually when I was, when I went camping this past summer with my friends. They got some too. Some of them got them out of crystal. It was so cool. Oh, that's just my sea glass. Back up there you go. Just wanted to share. Some of them aren't made of metal though, which kind of sucks. But it's kind of... I wouldn't mind be able to make that out of metal. Okay. Artifacts returned to the primary universes are often linked to religious iconology, as the appearance of the Earth seems to defy logical explanation. Again, the engine appears, but there's no wreck. Divine intervention is deemed the only logical conclusion. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, next scene. The living receiver. The living receiver is chosen to guide the artifact into position from the journey back into the primary universe. Donnie is the living receiver and is responsible for guiding the artifact back to the primary universe, guiding the plane to go back over the area where the engine can fall back into the primary universe. It's basically like, again, the paradox. Think of a paradox as a loop. Use your normal timeline, it branches off and it just keeps spiraling downwards. And it's evident later on that Grandma Death knew that this event was happening. And again, I hate to pull up another video game reference, but it's also not a video game reference at the same time. Undertale, with the dude right behind me, Sans. Undertale's based off of timelines, and during the genocide route, Sans mentions timelines. Keeps going back and forth. Keeps restarting, resetting. And he remembers. And if you play through the game again, like as I've done, commit genocide, restart the game, and you talk to Sans again, the very first time you do the pacifist run, Sans is like, hey, let me give you some advice about fighting my brother. When you're fighting him, make sure you watch out for some blue attacks. When you fight him, as in my incident, he's like, here's some advice for fighting my brother. Don't. Capiche? He knows. And it's actually so cool. But Sans is also based off of a Reverend, which is basic Irish lore, where a guy is physically brought back to life with all the memories. But that's not based off time travel. Sans kind of is, because timelines. But think of a paradox as a loop, and you're just kind of stuck in a constant loop. I feel like that's what happened. Traveling along, and Frank caused that paradox. He said, hey, get up. I need to tell you something. He gets up. He goes to Frank, starting the paradox, and the jet engine falls from the primary universe. I don't know if this happened before and Donnie just doesn't remember, or what, but Grandma Death seems to remember this happening before, telling Donnie, hey, you need to go back. There's a storm coming. And then Donnie has that one anomaly of slightly remembering what happened. And that's when the engine falls through his room while he's still in it. It kills him, and the paradox is broken, and it continues back to the timeline. Confusing? Yeah, I know. So, no one knows how or why a living receiver will be chosen. This may be because Donnie was the closest one to the jet engines and fell in his room, and that's what I said earlier, and it makes sense. The living receiver is often blessed with fourth-dimensional powers, including strength, telekinesis, mind control, and the ability to conjure water and fire. Donnie doesn't shoot water and fire out of his hands, unfortunately. He's just a kid. You know, he's not a wizard. Though I wish he did. That would have been badass and would have linked with my idea of how Donnie is just a science experiment. Directors, you're done fucked! So, here's some of the examples of how Donnie was the living receiver. Donnie had the strength. He took an axe and broke a water main pipe and stuck an axe into the head of a bulldog that's made of solid bronze. I don't know about you, but an axe versus bronze, the axe handle would probably break. I'm surprised it didn't, actually. You know, but the axe was sticking out in the head of the dog, which is fucking insane. You know, because solid bronze is strong. You know, they use bronze as shields and weapons, you know, back in the Greek era, you know, Greek and Roman, you know. The Romans melted down all the bronze statues from the Greeks, used them as swords, you know, Spartacus, you know, and all that crap. They're made for good weapons. You know, they're not weak. Donnie burns down a house, you know, of a guy, and for the water, he actually... Wait. Yes, direct strategy. He's fighting to burn down the house, and at the end of the movie, he used telekinesis to move the plane over, take the engine off the airplane, and through a time portal, which is made of water. Or the water main pipe. There you go. So, the living receiver is often tormented by terrifying dreams, visions, and auditory hallucinations during which has time within the Tangent universe, which is Frank. You know, the demon bunny rabbit, and that's why people believe, you know, including his therapist, he has PTSD. I personally don't think he has paranoid schizophrenia. I mean, it could develop if he's stuck in that paradox all the time. You know, after, you know, being stuck there for so long, you kind of get the gist. The surrounding and the living receiver, known as the manipulated, will fear him and try to destroy him. That's why people are kind of scared of Donnie, you know, because they don't understand him. You know, he's haunted by a bunny rabbit. They think he's crazy. But in reality, it's not his fault, you know. Alright, next scene. Alright, chapter 7 is the manipulated living. There's a short one. The manipulated living are often close friends and neighbors of the living receiver. Family, friends, Donnie's girlfriend. They are prone to irrational, bizarre, and often violent behaviors. This is the unfortunate result of their task, which is to assess the living receiver and return the artifact to part of the universe. So, certain small actions can be picked up, such as when Frank leaves the Halloween party to get beer, though the party already has cake. Frank actually is a real thing. He's not just haunted by hallucinations. Later on, Frank's actually a real thing. That's why I kind of found it bizarre when he said, you know, oh, I'm going to get beer. Frank was here. To get beer. It's kind of like that little push towards, you know, hey, you gotta do this. The manipulated living will do anything to save themselves from oblivion. And the manipulated dead. Kind of going now into what I foreshadowed earlier. The manipulated dead are more powerful than the living receivers. If a person dies within a tangent dimension, they are able to contact the living receiver through the fourth dimensional construct. The fourth dimensional construct is made of water. And it shows you some diagrams too. I'll probably pop those up on the screen as of right now. The manipulated dead will manipulate the living receiver using the fourth dimensional construct. And it shows the appendixes A and B. They appear to be water spears that Donnie sees coming out of people, like little gel snakes. I thought he said spheres, but I guess I was right. He did say sphere. The manipulated dead will often set an insurance trap for the living receiver to ensure that the artifact will return safely to the primary universe. So in the movie, it shows the insurance trap as Frank and Gretchen have to set it up. So in the movie, for some reason, Donnie is drawn to the word cellar door. And he just has that epiphany. You know, he goes to Grandma Death's house. They go into their cellar door, and I guess that's another little nudge, like how Frank's like, hey, I went to go get beer, you know, they have a keg. So they go to the cellar door. There's these two guys who are complete dickholes. One person runs away because there's a car coming. You know, Donnie's friends run away. Gretchen got the wind knocked out of her and she couldn't move because she got thrown. She's in the middle of the road. They set up, and the dickweeds set up a Grandma Death statue just to kind of deter people, to get them distracted. Well, that ended up running over Gretchen. And the guy runs away, and the guy driving the car was Frank. So Donnie shot Frank in the eye. Gretchen's dead. And yeah, that's how that sets up. And Frank is like, alright, Donnie's gotta be like, alright, well, I fucked up. Time to go back. If the insurance trap is successful, which it was, the living receiver is left with no choice but to use his fourth dimensional powers and send the artifact back into the primary universe before the black hole collapses upon itself. Which is what Donnie does. He's sitting on the hill. At the end of the movie, yeah, I said that it's hard to pick up since it just shows Donnie sitting on the car watching the storm, where you never actually see him doing anything. Telekinesis, I mean, you don't see him doing anything. People usually do this, but it's like, alright, he's doing telekinesis. It's the same thing with Sans. He's just like, throws you around like a rag doll, but uses his hand. And also, you know, directionally, you know, boom, 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 more. Probably because he has more compact, you know, powers. You know, just, you know, to use in his hand and all his eye. Reverends, you know, they're weird. They're crazy strong. But if people are really, really, really strong, you know, I've seen incidences where people just kind of sit there and they just stare at it. And like spoonbenders. Spoonbenders are the perfect example of that. They just stare at a spoon. They don't do this shit. They just stare at a spoon, and the spoon just goes, and they don't do anything with their hands. They just stare at it, which is fucking awesome. That's probably the same incident of what Donnie had. You know, he's probably stronger than a spoonbender. He can move he can take an entire jet engine off of a plane. Hey, how heavy is a jet engine turbine? All right, so it's 747. So standard engine, 747. So the engine's mass in kilograms is 4,185. Hey, Alexa, how heavy is 4,058 kilograms in pounds?
4,058 kilograms is 8,946.4 pounds.
That's 4 tons. Donnie can move 4 tons of steel off an engine of a physical flying plane. If that is not strong, then I don't fucking know what is. Oh, did I just lose that page? Uh-oh. I think I fucked up. I think I done fucked. No, I did not. Okay, we're good. Okay. So that's alright, one more chapter, we're near the end. So chapter 12 is dreams. So when the manipulated awaken from their journey into the tangent universe, they are often haunted by the experiences of their dreams, which is what I stated earlier. Many of them will not remember. Donnie himself is included, although it is kind of evident that he faintly remembers him saving the world. When he's laughing at the end of the movie in his bed, it was probably vaguely remembering him saving the world and is content. He's happy. And at the end of everything, after he's rebooting everything, there's a drawing on the wall of an eye. I've seen it before, and I wanted to get a closer look at it because personally, I thought it was cool. In the middle of his pupil is death. He's staring death into the face, which is actually really sweet. He most likely doesn't know what's coming. You know, he probably doesn't know that the jet engine's gonna fall through his roof. He remembers saving everybody, but he doesn't know his own oblivion's coming. So for those who do remember the journey are often overcome with profound remorse for the regretful actions buried within their dreams. The only physical evidence buried within the artifact itself are all that remains of the lost world. So at the end of the movie, it shows many of the people crying with a really cool song. You know, I'm not gonna sing it, but a lot of you probably heard of it. I'll probably play it, you know, now, but whatever.
All around me are familiar faces.
But so at the end of the movie, there's many characters, or the main characters, and the reactions of them after they have waken up. Subtle things such as Jin Cunningham, who's the guy's house that got burnt down, crying, or Frank touching his eye, which is, you know, how he like this at the end. He's like, "Oh shit, I got shot in the face." Gretchen looked like it had that face of like, I know you, but I don't know where I know you from, which is awesome. Because I do that all the time. I look at someone, I'm like, I think I know you, but I don't want to say anything because I would be 99% wrong. You know, unless I actually know somebody. Say I see like my friend Ray walking down the street, I'm like, okay, I know you and your skinny ass body. No, Ray, I love you. You're my bro. Don't take that the wrong way, but you are a twig. You know, I'm heavy. You're skinny, but he's also packed. He's got the guns. So, ancient myths tell us of Mayan warriors killed by an arrowhead that has fallen from a cliff where there is no army or no enemy. We are told that the medieval knights mysteriously impaled by a sword, but yet there's one that hasn't been built. We are told that these things occur for a reason. Alright, then it just shows you the appendices. So, Donnie Darko. One hell of a movie. I love it. I mean, it shows, like, the struggles of Donnie, the struggles of people, which is actually some of them are kind of sad. I actually got really upset at the end of the movie because, not like upset, like, oh, that should not have happened, because, you know, Donnie sacrificed himself for many instead of many sacrificed being dead in the paradoxical event for just Donnie. That's the way I look at it. But I got upset because everyone got, you know, physically emotional when they basically realized Donnie died. It's like a psychic thing. I think it's that last evidence of a psychic phenomenon happening, that they had like that soul link. When it's not uncommon to hear, you know, that you have like that sixth sense going on. I know when my mom had something like that when she realized that we both call her Nana Nana. When Nana Nana passed away, you know, long before I was born, so I don't know her, unfortunately. Well, she would have been, I believe, my great-grandmother. There's a clock that was given to my parents, and it was a swing, it was a ticket. And then just suddenly just stopped. And my mom's like, oh my god, Nana Nana passed away, and sure enough, she did. That's more of an extreme, but it's kind of that evidence, like, oh, something happened. When these guys wake up, you know, the therapist wakes up and she's distraught. You know, Jin Cunningham is crying. Frank touches his eye. You know, I don't know her name. There's one character there who's like made fun of a lot, and I felt really bad, but she's kind of just laying there, like, upset. She's not crying or anything, but she's kind of like sad, I believe. And then there's Gretchen, where she's riding past and he's like, oh, this guy's name's Donnie Darko, do you know him? And she's thinking, it's familiar to her, but she still says no because she doesn't actually know him. She's like, in her mind, she's probably thinking, alright, I know him, but I don't know why. You know, it's really a cool movie. I feel bad for, the visuals are awesome. Towards the end, it's like, okay, this is happening. The funnel cloud that was actually coming down looked like Frank's head, personally, but that might be me just kind of visualizing what I think. This entire movie review, I didn't take a drink of my banana milk. I'm taking a big long sip of this banana goodness. In memoriam for Donnie. Banana goodness. Okay. So, I would definitely watch this movie. I gotta throw up that warning, you know, violence, words, inferred sex scene, but not actual sex. There's no boobs anywhere, so don't worry about that. I would highly recommend watching this movie. It's very interesting. It makes more coherent sense. if I had to watch it, I would watch the director's cut because that's what I watched. Would I watch the other one? I don't know. But actually, now just remembering this, the movie continues. Like, after the scenes, the director and all of them released something online. You know, continuing on with Donnie Darko. You know, and it's canon. You know, they released it themselves. It's not like a fan-made thing. I might do that later, actually. That's actually something I might consider. Let me know, guys, if you want me to do that. Leave a comment down below if you want me to do that game. It's technically a game. It's like a click-based adventure game. From what the very little I've seen. If you want to learn more, you know, maybe if you guys have actually heard of Donnie Darko and you've seen it and you didn't know about this and you want to, you know, see it, or if you just, you know, you don't care, you basically had the entire thing spoiled anyways in about an hour, and you just want to see the game. It's fine. Just let me know if you want to, or you don't have to. It's fine. That's basically it for today's movie review. Yay! We did it, guys. That was one hell of a ride. So, I know last week it was kind of shorter because there's a lot of scenes where it's like, oh, this doesn't make sense, and oh, there's tits. But this movie was really good. I really did thoroughly enjoy this movie. And again, I'm a firm believer of parallel universes and paradoxes occurring. Deja vu and the Mandela effect, where we remember something happening, but it never happened. It's so fascinating. I love stuff like this. And I don't know... Alright. And I don't know if I persuaded you to be a believer of a parallel universe or a multiverse or not. If I did, that wasn't my intention. It was just something to explain to you, you know, the base, like how stuff makes sense. You know, the engine goes through a wormhole from one universe to another. You know, if Donnie didn't stay in the room, the loop would have continued. It's basically that fork of the tangent universe and the primary universe happens within that bedroom, that little compartment. You know, if Donnie stayed, the primary universe would have continued. If he left again, this circle would just continue. Oh, I could just keep going on forever about this. It's so cool. It's so fascinating. I might make another video about stories. I believe in, you know, time being weird. I know I did hints of it, but not fully. Well, I think paradoxes and primary universes and multiverses are basically a thing. I don't mean for it to persuade you in any way, shape, or form. Let me take out my nerd glasses because we are done being a scientist here. But it's just something to consider, I guess. But yeah, that's it for Donnie Darko. It's kind of vague because it's the main points of the story don't occur until you understand the philosophy of time, which is the book, and the chapters appear saying, you know, it explains things. So, and the other things are just like daily, everyday, going to school, going home, going to school, going to home, doing a movie, going home, school, blah, 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 blah. The only times where it's evident that Donnie's doing time paradoxal, parallel, tangent universe crap is only when it's referenced in the philosophy of time, where he does these incredible feats. Again, would I watch it? Yes, absolutely. You guys may make more sense of it out of it. Would you watch it now because I basically spoiled the entire thing? I don't know, that's up to you. But I would definitely highly recommend watching it. So, that's all the time that I have for this movie review. Guys, thank you so much for all the support for this series. It's actually pretty successful, and I really appreciate it. If you liked this movie review of Donnie Darko, please hit that like button and share this with your friends so they can join on this madness, and have them subscribe too if they haven't already, or you can subscribe as well. That would really mean a lot to me. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much. And for the next movie review, I'll see you next week. Videos will try to continue with the gaming on a regular schedule starting Monday, hopefully. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. Take care.